Alright, what is going on, folks? Welcome to tonight's Share League match between Divine 9 and Ridgeback Lords. So this is a Division 1 match, so normally you think, hey, it's a Division 1 match, it should be best of one, but these two teams, they decided they love Heroes of the Storm so much, all they want to do is play it, so this is actually going to be a 2 out of 3. So both teams have... both teams decided it's going to be best of 3, so... looking forward to that. So even more Heroes of the Storm action for you guys tonight. So very much looking forward to that. So it is Ridgeback Lords is the team that is the map picking team. So I haven't heard from any of them yet. I am not seeing anyone in the Share League room that we're supposed to show up in. I'll only double check to make sure I am in the right room. It appears that I am. But not seeing anyone else there, unfortunately. So if you will just sit tight here for a moment, hopefully both teams will be able to get in contact with each other and with me. Apparently the other team is in a quick match at the moment, so that is unfortunate. So in the meantime, I guess we can all just kind of sit tight. I think there was a patch today, but I think it was mostly cosmetic things, if I'm not mistaken. I think the big meaty patch with all the balance changes is probably going to be next week. The Lucio patch, as I'm sure it will be called. The one where Murky may ascend into godhood, we'll see. These changes look pretty interesting. I don't know if I can live in a world where Murky is top tier. To me, that sounds like a very terrifying prospect, but we'll see. But once again, folks, this will be 2 out of 3. Whenever we do actually end up getting started. In the meantime, I don't know, I guess I'll just check my email. A lot of spam, a lot of stuff that's not really all that interesting, so. I was supposed to, well, not supposed to, but someone else wanted me to catch a mass earlier tonight, but fortunately it was going to bleed into this one, most likely. That was Mortal Esports and Focus Morales or GG. Let's see what happened in that one, actually. I assume it's over by now. It's been half an hour. Yeah, it looks like it has concluded. So let's see. And Mortal Esports won that. Looks like they did find someone to cast it after all, so. Alright, it looks like we are getting going here. Looks like the map will be on Infernal Shrines. As we are just waiting on the last one to file in from Divine 9. So, don't really know too much about Ridgeback Lords, but I didn't know that Divine 9 is Jason Devine's team. Jason Devine, who is one of the fellow casters for Chair League, which is very cool. Alright, and it looks like everyone has filed in here, so I think the draft should be getting underway here momentarily. Once again, the map Infernal Shrines, and once again, best of 3. Not a standard for Division 1, but once again, teams really, really want to play each other, so... Which is not ever something I've heard of happening. But maybe these teams are friendly with each other. Maybe they know each other. Who knows? In any case, I mean, that's a cool thing to see. In any case, it means more games for us to watch. So, looking forward to that. So, just waiting on the draft to begin. Don't know what the holdup is. It's like people finishing up their bio breaks. We're all human. We do have to do these things. Ideally, not right before a Chair League match, but maybe this is the best time to do it because then maybe you're all emptied out. Don't have that that pressure on you, that stress. I think we're just about ready to get going here. I've been told one of the guys is peeing, so at least it's the quick one, so he should be back here soon. Alright, I think we're getting underway here. Sounds like everyone's back. Everyone has voided themselves of fluid, so we are good to go. Alright, so once again, the map is Infernal Shrines. If you're just joining us, this is going to be a best of 3, even though this is a Division 1 match. So, guys are going to get plenty of matches here tonight. So, this was Ridgeback Lords, who had the map selection, which means it should be Divine 9 with the first pick, first ban. And this is Infernal Shrine, so this is... And someone just dropped, so... Hold all that thought. All that thought, is that English? Not sure it is, but it doesn't matter. So, someone dropped from the lobby, so unfortunately... Gonna have to wait for him to come back. And we'll get this started once again. But this is Infernal Shrine, so this is a map that a wide variety, if I could speak, of strategies will work on. A lot of different heroes are viable on this map that aren't necessarily viable on other maps. Heroes like Zul, Kerrigan. But we'll have to see which route both these teams decide to go down. But the dropped person is back, so should be good now. Alright, here we go. Take number 2 of the draft. Infernal Shrines. Let's try this again. So once again, it will be Divine 9 with the first pick, first ban. They did not get a chance to even make a ban last time before, was it Kinma dropped? I know it wasn't Kenma. Nobody on either of these teams is on Team Naventic. Who, by the way, not doing so hot in HCC. I think they only have a 1 win, 1-4, something like that. But it looks like it will be Sylvanas banned out by Divine 9. They're highlighting it. Let's see if they decide to pick that. But Sylvanas very, very strong on this map. Any map where you can secure an objective that will push for you, Sylvanas is very, very powerful on those maps. She can disable structures, meaning that that objective is going to get a lot more value. Of course, if you're unable to secure the objective with Sylvanas, then the amount of value she's providing is certainly heavily diminished. So one of the map-specific OP heroes on this map banned out by Divine 9. Will we see another one by Ridgeback Lords? Maybe a Zool ban, maybe a Kerrigan ban. But I think what Divine 9 is saying is that they don't want any cheese. They want to win straight up team fights. And just kind of slowly grind it out. But it will be Dahaka. Fairly strong map for Dahaka. This is a map where split soaking can be highly valuable. You know, it is large and spread out. There's an objective in one single location. But don't know that Dahaka is the strongest hero on this map. But maybe they know something. Maybe they've done their homework. Perhaps a strong Dahaka player on the side of Divine 9. But only Ragnaros picked up immediately for Divine 9. And why not? I mean, Ragnaros is super overpowered. And it's also excellent against the pushing of the Punishers. He can use Molten Core to basically stop a push. He can absorb a lot of hits from the Punisher. He can force everyone to back off, which can buy his team time to burn the Punisher down. That's actually something we saw at HCC over the weekend. One team had Sylvanas and Arthas. It doesn't really get much stronger than that in terms of your ability to disable forts and push with an objective. They were able to secure a Punisher. The other team had a Ragnaros, Molten Core the building, and that was it. Yeah, the other team had to back off, didn't get any value out of Sylvanas whatsoever, and that was pretty much the game. But Artanis Tassadar are going to be picked up for Ridgeback Lords. So Artanis is still very, very strong. Very OP hero at the moment. A solid, a single solid phase prism, phase swap can be very, very devastating. Gets Blade Dash into phase prism. But Divine 9 going to answer back with Malfurion and ETC, which is a very, very strong combination. The combo of Power Slide into Roots, that into Sulfurous Smash could be absolutely devastating. I mean, that there alone is pretty much a dead character. You know, Sulfurous Smash is incredibly strong. It just needs some setup. It just needs some, your team just needs some ability to kind of hold someone there. And ETC with Power Slide into Malfurion Roots absolutely can accomplish that. Gul'dan banned out by Ridgeback Lords. Really like that ban. Gul'dan and Malfurion are also very, very strong together. Gul'dan needs healing, health, that he can basically turn into mana, which he uses to spam his abilities. And Malfurion, very, very mana efficient when it comes to his healing. So basically he can provide Gul'dan with plenty of mana that he can use to absolutely unleash devastation upon his foes. So I really like that ban. And Ridgeback Lords, they still need sustained damage, which Vala would be. Still need a main tank. Still need a support. But Divine 9 thinking about vanning out Vala. And they choose to go with that. Which I really like. Vala and Tassadar is a very, very deadly combination. Vala can put out an insane amount of damage, but she needs shields because she's very, very fragile. And Tassadar, who's already picked up by Ridgeback Lords, will provide those. So it's definitely a duo that you want to deny if you are Divine 9. So 2 more picks here for Ridgeback Lords. I think they can wait to pick up their support, as Divine 9 is not going to ban one out, nor are they going to pick one. Although they may want to save their final spot for Flex, just to respond to whatever it is that Divine 9 decides to do with their last 2 picks. And that is what they're... No, they're doing the first thing that I said, so... They pick up Falstad, pick up Muradin, and they are going to save their support for last. Probably a Brightwing would be my guess. They banned out Dahaka, so they're worried about globals. And they've picked up Falstad. And Brightwing would be another solid global option. But they might be content with Falstad. We'll see. I'm actually not sure there's enough damage on the side of Ridgeback Lords. They have Falstad, who's a little bit weak in the damage department. They have Artanis, who certainly can deal out some damage, but I don't know. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. There's certainly going to be a lot of tankiness and support on the side of Ridgeback Lords, but I don't know how they actually kill anyone. And Divine 9 already looking very, very strong and tanky. They have Tychus, who's one of the tankiest assassins. Ragnaros doing pretty good in that department as well. ETC. Obviously a tank. At this point, I almost want a support who can do some good damage. Just to make it for the lack of damage on Ridgeback Lords. I don't think Tyrande is out of the question. Maybe a Rhaegar, maybe a Monk. But it will be Brightwing. I think Monk actually might have been a little bit scary, as that would have been a 3rd melee. And a 3rd melee into an ETC who could very easily go mosh pit. That's a scary situation. And then the only one who would be able to interrupt on the back line would be Falstad. So basically he would just have to save Gust as an interrupt and pray he doesn't get hit by it. But here we go. Game number 1 between... Did someone just drop? Oh my god, someone just dropped. Oh my god. So we're doing a best of 3. At this rate, we may be here all night. So... Alright, sit tight here, folks, as it looks like Jason dropped. Alright, he's back in, so I guess we're gonna have to do that entire draft over. Guess we'll have to just remember what was picked. I think we might end up just doing standard. Okay, that works. Just bypass the old draft. Alright, so. Just a second, folks, here, and we should be good to go. Soul looks correct on the side of Divine 9. And that looks right on the side of Ridgeback Lord. So, alright, should be good to go. Alright, assuming no one drops right now. Okay, there we go. Oy. That was scary. Alright, and on the side of Divine 9, it is Ice Fox Millie on Ragnaros. Nianu, this is what I'm going to go with, on Tychus. Rabid Penguin on ETC. Emian on Kael'thas, and Jason on Malfurion. And on the side of Ridgeback Lords, it is Changer on Artanis, Epic on Muradin, Stixa on Falstad, Dami on Tassadar, and Kina on Brightwing. You know, I still wonder about there being enough damage on the side of Ridgeback Lords. Sure, they do have the portrait synergy going on. I do grant them that, but you know, Falstad is kind of a half assassin. Artanis kind of a half assassin. Sure, I mean, there's a lot of tankiness, a lot of support on the side of Ridgeback Lords, but I just don't know where the kill potential is coming from. I mean, Artanis can swap someone in, but what are you gonna do? Throw a shield at that person? I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out. But I'm definitely concerned on the as far as the draft goes for Ridgeback Lords. Artanis will be going a Seasoned Marchant, as will Falstad. Oh my god, so Jason is dropped again. And I'm a mere observer, not even a referee, so I can't even talk to them, but so apparently he's rebooting, so we'll have to... Hopefully that helps. But this is now his second disconnection, so... Hopefully everything is all good on his end. See, I can't even talk to them, so, oh well. I was gonna ask him. I don't know any good jokes or anything, but... Oh well. I'm just a mere observer, not a referee. Feels bad. Okay. Looks like he's here. Hopefully we're all good now. All right. So looks like going to be no brawl on the side of Divine 9 in the middle lane.
2, 1. Let the battle begin.
Whereas Ridgeback Lords, they definitely want to brawl. But this is kind of interesting. I mean, we do see Ragnaros up on the top, where is a 4-man squad without Sylvanas looking to take down one of the cannon towers. But the combination of ETC and Malfurion can definitely tank some of the shots from that. It looks like ETC going to get out of there without going down, but unfortunately, this tower still alive. Unable to secure the kill there. I think if they committed a little bit harder to that, may have been able to take it down. Also, if they had Sylvanas on their team, that may have helped, but they did ban her out. But they did decide, we're not going to let the fact that we don't have any Sylvanas on our team deter us. We're going to go for it anyway. And almost got the tower. So far, it is the superior wave clear on the side of Divine 9. As they're going to quickly clear out mid, rotate bottom, and clear this wave down here. I really like what Rabid Penguin is doing here on ETC. Just kind of protecting his team, ready to intercept anyone who comes in and threatens them. So if Falstad makes any kind of move on his team, he's going to pop out of there and power slide on that poor unsuspecting Thunder Chicken. So first shrine is going to be spawning here in the bottom lane. You know what? It has been a Ragnaros and Tassadar fest up top. Nothing too interesting happening there. Wow, ETC being spotted out as he gets the Psychic Stormbolt from Muradin. Followed up by the Arcane Flare from Brightwing. Fortunately, not too much Muradin could do after jumping in there, as Stormbolt was already on cooldown. For a second there, I thought Muradin went Perfect Storm, but I actually went Third Wind. But meanwhile, a swap goes in by Artanis, but it's not going to accomplish anything. As he's just going to kind of sit in the middle, but Kael'thas ends up going down, but Artanis may go down as well, but no. Looks like he is going to lip away. I take it back. The Living Meteor from Ragnaros going to finish him off. Going to confirm that kill. So far a 1-for-1 trade here for both teams with a slight lead on the creeps in favor of Divine 9, but ETC has gone down. The aggression from Muradin paying off. And despite a lead on the skeletal defenders, looking like the shrine will end up going over to Ridgeback Lords. And so far for a team that I thought lacked kill potential, so far it is 2-1 in terms of the kills in favor of Ridgeback Lords. And that minion absorbing the Stormbolt, saving Tychus' life. But Muradin, super low, is going to be taken down by Tychus, but he gave his life for that kill. As he had to go out awfully far to get it, but 1-for-1 exchange there at the end with a Punisher going over to Ridgeback Lords, who is largely just giving this up as they are returning to soak. Tacet are going up to the top lane to grab the soak there. Artanis going to the middle lane to soak that. And Ragnaros popping Molten Core is just going to largely absorb the damage this Punisher is dishing out. And that first Punisher not accomplishing too much. It did manage to take down this front wall, but not too much beyond that, thanks to the Molten Core of Ragnaros. Camp going to be picked up here for Ridgeback Lords. And it looks like they're going to start on the bottom camp as well. Looks like they're going to have Artanis stay out and guard it. Make sure they don't get invaded in this very vulnerable position. So despite losing those 2 towers and being behind on XP, somehow Divine 9 is still very close in terms of XP. But the swap goes down onto Tychus, and he is going to be deleted. That is part of why Artanis is just so dangerous right now. If he's able to land those swaps, he can put the other person just so far out of position that there's just no getting away. And it really messes with the distances people think is safe. You might think you're safe staying way back from Artanis, but there is no safe distance from Artanis now. So hey, I mean, so far, who needs assassins? You just need Artanis and Falstad. That's all you need. But engagement coming down here in the bottom from Ridgeback Lords. And the swap goes down onto Malfurion, who is in a lot of trouble. Think he's going to get away. I thought Falstad might pick him off, but it actually ends up being ETC who goes down. The Face Prism not going to connect on Kael'thas, but I think I'm definitely seeing some of an answer to my question. Where's the kill potential going to come from on the side of Ridgeback Lords? And turns out Muradin and Artanis both do plenty to enable their team's kill potential. This is part of what I love about the new Tafstar. I mean, you just sit there attacking a minion for just 7 hours. Then eventually it dies. But it just feels like outside of his W and Archon, he just does no damage whatsoever. So level 10 has been reached for Ridgeback Lords. And Divine 9 is just going to give this up, but they're not even going to get too much they're not even going to catch too much up in terms of soak, as Brightwing is soaking the bottom lane. But no one's soaking the middle lane for Ridgeback Lords, so that's kind of the one lane where Divine 9 is making some progress. Level 10 though has been reached for Divine 9. And ETC did take stage dive, so even though he's the furthest one away, he could be there in an instant. But no play going to be made on the Shrine, as this is the second Punisher of the game picked up for Ridgeback Lords. Ragnarok's going to do his thing and bait it over, and then I assume hop in the fort, activate his Molten Core. But a big swap goes down onto Tychus, who is going to be taken down. So once again, these swaps have been absolutely devastating. Kudos to Changer on his swaps, just really doing a great job with those. Showing us all why Artanis is top tier at the moment. But once again, Ragnar's doing a good job of absorbing the damage that that Punisher doled out, as pretty much just that wall went down. Not too much damage on the fort. So far, control of the macro game definitely going over to Ridgeback Lords. They've been ahead on the camps the entire time. Thought they might look to invade here, but chose not to. Prism attempt going out, but hey, they're not all winners. That's okay. You miss 100% of the shots you take, or whatever that line is. Well, Artanis staying in that bush for an awfully long time. Stage dive is going to come out from ETC, just kind of point blank. And so far, this is a 1-for-1 with the chase onto Murden, but the Stormbolt going to save his life. But they turn on Falstad, not going to get him though. The Archon has been popped by Dami. And going to get the kill on Kael'thas as well. So 2 more kills there for Ridgeback Lords, and so far they're running away with this. I thought there was a window there where Divine 9 could have maybe gotten a couple more kills, but fortunately they did not get them. And the double support from Ridgeback Lords, able to get people topped off just a little bit. And they're able to turn that fight. So I think for the first time we're going to see a Bruiser camp picked up. Meanwhile, the bottom siege camp going to be picked up for Ridgeback Lords. Level 13 was just picked up here for Divine 9. So far, a momentary advantage on the Shrine for Divine 9. We'll have to see if that holds. This is currently a 5-on-4, but here's Falstad. Sulfurious Smash, though, comes out. I think it actually missed everyone. But ETC getting really, really chunked out. Not sure he's going to make it out, but the stage dive onto the wall, I guess. I guess the Heroes of the Storm physics engine was okay with him landing square on top of that. But another giant phase swap. Phase frozen goes down onto Tychus, who I thought was dead, but thanks to That's the Stuff, just turns around, starts minigunning Murden, and absolutely gets healed up. But ETC has gone down. Malfurion in some trouble. But Artanis in trouble as well, and down he goes. And Brightwing has just absolutely no health. But Falstad has gone down. Murden's super low. Everyone just awfully low on the side of Ridgeback Lords. The 3 remaining. And the first Punisher has gone down. Has been won over by Divine 9. So I really think that big power spike at 13 that Tychus got really really turned that fight around. Tychus had just absolutely no HP. Turns around, miniguns Murden, and all of a sudden he actually has health again. And that completely changed that fight. Was that the turning point though? We shall see. But so far this Punisher has taken the first fort of the game. And I think that's going to be about it. This keep wall not going to go down. And Tassadar actually went down to Flame Strike from Kael'thas. Must have been the, I was going to say, must have been the second one, but no, level 16 hasn't been reached yet. He's not even going Flame Strike build, but big engage coming down. Sulfurious Smash takes down Artanis. And Falstad says, enough of that. Go away. And the Mighty Gus ends that fight. But Divine 9, they're deciding they're not done. They are re-engaging. The Tychus Drill comes down. And they have their sights set on this middle keep. And Ragnarok's going to go down. Don't think this this keep is going to go down. Maybe a bit of an overextension on the side of Divine 9. Oh, and there goes Falstad. Thought he was going to go down. Just holding my breath for him in his life. But ETC was unable to avoid the Hammerang from Falstad. And, you know, maybe a bit of an overextension there from Divine 9. Maybe they thought they had a little bit more momentum than they did. But they almost got the keep. Couple tickles away from taking that down. So Ridgeback Glory heading down here. That was close. Thought Ridgeback Lords might make it down to the point in time, or if they might at the very least take down Malfurion, but everyone at Divine 9 managed to get out of there just in the nick of time. Fortunately, ETC did use Stage Dive to go in there, so that is going to be on cooldown. Satellite did not accomplish much, I don't think. Maybe he saved a life. Kinda doubt it, though. Both teams headed up to the top shrine, where it will be a Frozen Punisher. Which, you know, at this point, have the Arcane Punishers been nerfed enough that it doesn't really matter what kind of Punisher comes out of there? Are they all pretty much equal now? Phase Prism not going to connect from Artanis. The Tychus are going to be burned down right away. Fortunately for him, not going to get much value. But a big engagement goes down onto Ragnaros, and down he goes. And that's not it. Kael'thas goes down as well. Malfurion in a rough spot, but the Twilight Dream is going to save him. Yeah. Gets the Stormbow from Murden, but unfortunately for him, team not around to follow up. That is going to be Divine 9 backing off. If I were them, I would absolutely go take down the keep and read my mind as ETC stage dives over there. And hope he manages to take that down before. Okay. Thought we might have a lag situation there. But Falstad trying to go in to kill off the weakened ETC. Don't think he's going to get him. But Power Slide comes in from ETC. Great cleanse coming out from Brightwing. It's going to stop any follow-up on him. Fortunately for Divine 9, this top fort is going to go down pretty much for free. Which means that this Punisher still has almost all of its life left. So, I mean, yeah, they got the keep, but at the same time, they may be losing a keep of their own. But Power Slide comes in from ETC. I believe it hits 4, but not going to secure any kills, but it does scare the rest of Ridgeback Lords away. Which means that, oh, I didn't even realize Mule was picked up there for Malfurion. But Mighty Gus is going to come down to complete the invasion of the camp. Which, woohoo, you stole a camp. Good for you. It's going to be sent to its death. But yeah, I don't know. I think a camp that isn't just like immaculately timed out, pretty overrated. Usually not going to accomplish too much. But this is a 5-on-5 now, as Tassadar and Falstad have showed up. But Artanis is going to be the first one to fall in this fight. Divine Knight very upset about their camp being stolen, so now they're going to do what they can to turn the tables. They were unable to steal this camp, but they did take Artanis' life, which I think actually matters a lot more. I think a hero kill is much more important than a camp steal. And in fact, Divine Knight going to steal a camp of their own. Sure, it may not be the sexy bruiser camp, but siege camp still good. Of course, the camp is going to be quickly sent to its death. This is the fate of most camps. But Divine Knight actually pushing a little bit with this camp. Going to have to be careful, as there are many globals on the side of Ridgeback Lords, including Brightwing and Falstad, who are both here in just a blink of an eye. But that was actually a very good exchange for Divine Knight. Not only did they bait out those globals, but they also got the fort after all, which is going to give them ever close to level 20. Fortunately for them, their little bush party did not work out. But that's not something that I think really had any hope of working out. There was no reason for Ridgeback Lords to come over here. They didn't need to clear that minion wave, and the shrine was over here, so. But in comes the Draken Laser Drill from Tychus. Power Slide comes in from ETC. Is going to connect onto Tassadar, who is getting awfully low. Murden, though, silence and super low. The silence wears off just in time for him to Dwarf Toss out of there. And so far, everyone is super low on the side of Ridgeback Lords, but no kills for Divine Nine, which is pretty bad for them, as Murden has his trait, so he can heal up very quickly. Plus double support on the side of Ridgeback Lords. And global, so Falstack can just Hearthstone up, come right back. But down goes Artanis, who was in there a little bit before the rest of this team, and ends up getting picked off. That is absolutely devastating for Ridgeback Lords, as this Punisher is going to be marching down a lane where there is no keep. And this is going to be a 5-on-4. Artanis is going to be down for another 45 seconds, so he will not be able to aid in the defense of this Punisher. What was looking so good for Ridgeback Lords early, and that is going to be somehow a miraculous save there on Murden. Great cleanse by Brightwing. And that is going to absolutely 100% save Murden's life. But was that a fatal mistake by Artanis? So far, it's looking like there's definitely a chance that Ridgeback Lords can hold up in time. But everyone is now focusing the core. Shields are down to 70%. I think this is pretty much going to be game. Malfurion has gone down for Divine 9, but it's not going to be enough. 15% left on the core, and that is going to be game number 1, going to Divine 9. So once again, if you're just joining us, this is a best of 3, despite it being a Division 1 match. So that was only the first game, so we will have at least one more. Well, hey, that was a game that started off very, very well for Ridgeback Lords, but Divine Knight, they figured out a way to pull it together and make the big comeback. Yeah, there are definitely a couple of mistakes there by Ridgeback Lords. I mean, I think Artanis going at the end there without all of his team there, bit of a mistake. I'm not sure if they lost because of that, but Who knows? We'll never know. But kudos to Divine 9 for turning that around and taking game 1. So last time it was Ridgeback Lords who had the team selection. This time it will, map selection. This time it will be Divine 9. So just waiting on Divine 9 to pick the map. And by the way, we got through that without anyone dropping, so there's that too. Yeah, we had all sorts of problems beginning of the game during the draft, but once the game actually got going, everything was fine. But yeah, I agree. Lots of bad overextensions there. Well, I guess all overextensions are bad. And bad re-engages. Yeah, I hate to really single out the Artanis player at the end there, but just going back in there at the end, I just think that's a prime example of that. All right, so lobby is being made. The next map will be Battlefield of Eternity. So the Diablo-themed maps will continue here tonight. Very cool to see. And yeah, there was no cleanse on Mouth, but I could definitely see it being useful for Muradin. It's kind of hard to cleanse out of a Blade Dash Phase Prism from Artanis, just because it's kind of hard to react to. It's kind of hard to know whether or not it's going to connect. And once it does connect, I believe Cleanse doesn't work. It's kind of like Hook, as far as I know. Like, you have to pre-cleanse Hook. And I think it's the same with the Phase Prism, if I'm not mistaken. But I do think Cleanse definitely going to save some lives there. And, I really don't think Soak was, like, such a giant issue on that map. Ridgeback Lords, they were first to 20. Like, they were first to every big milestone on that map. And they had the Soak advantage, they had the level advantage, they had the talent tier advantage. It was just those other team fighting mistakes that ultimately cost them the game. But here we go. It looks like the draft is now underway. So game number 2 here, Battlefield of Eternity. By the way, I did not. Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought someone checked that off as checked one of the teams off as winning that first game. Was not me, and actually it didn't happen. So we're all good. So this time it will be Ridgeback Lords with the first pick, first span. And I know I would be happy to get rid of Ragnaros again. Or this time around. Not someone I want to deal with. And it looks like they agree. Because it looks like Ragnaros will be banned out here by Ridgeback Lords. And I think if I'm Divine 9, I don't want to deal with Artanis. Who, by the way, is very good on this map. He can take Amateur Opponent, which is going to increase his damage greatly. Excuse me, on non-heroic units, which is going to really help him burn down the Immortal. But once again, Divine 9 decides they don't want to deal with Sylvanas. Don't want to risk that. And so once again, it will be Artanis picked up for Ridgeback Lords. So 2 more picks here for Divine 9. And I didn't see a tremendous amount of synergy between the Malfurion and ETC last game, but it's still a very strong combination. And even if you're not doing the combo perfectly, they are still both very, very strong. But it will be Vala picked up. So I would really like to see Divine 9 pair her with someone like a Tassadar, someone like a Zarya. Someone to give her some shielding. Well, it will be ETC. And this is definitely a pretty scary map for ETC. I think this is definitely a mosh pit map for him. Yeah, lots of really narrow choke points. Which can definitely set up a very strong mosh pit. But 2 more picks here for Ridgeback Lords. I would like to see them get a damage. Get a DPS. Someone like a Greymane. Someone who can really burn down the Immortal. Then probably a support. I think it would be smart to deny the Malfurion ETC combo. So they either pick up Malfurion here or ban him out. It will be Li Ming. Like the pick. And Tassadar once again. I'm curious to see who they're going to pair with Tassadar, as he's very good at enabling kind of frontline melee assassins. I mean, it's good on Artanis, but they usually want to see it on someone like an Illidan or Greymane, Vala even. Not that she's a frontline, but still benefits a lot from the shields. But of course, Vala already picked up. I'm curious if she's going to go the Q build, which is very, very good if you're kind of poking around the Immortal. Yeah, she can fire out 1 Q on the Immortal from good distance away. And it's going to do a lot of damage to the Immortal. Of course, Monster Hunter being one of the picks in that Q build. Ban coming out here for Divine 9. It will be Ariel, which I think is a solid ban. To some degree, this is a pretty heavy sustain map. And Ariel doesn't use any mana for her healing. And someone like Artanis or Li Ming could definitely provide her with plenty of energy. But I kind of figured they would do it, but Malfurion is banned out by Ridgeback Lord. So denying that ETC Malfurion synergy, denying one of the best supports in the game. So Divine 9, they still need probably another frontliner and a support. I feel like they could probably pick up someone like Greymane to deny potential Tassadar synergy, but will be Thrall, who is similar, I guess. I mean, he's a melee assassin, but it will be Rhaegar as the support for Divine 9. Alright, so last 2 picks here for Ridgeback Lords, who I think still need a main tank and a main support. Could see Murden again, as he has not been banned out. And Brightwing as well. Which were 2 of their picks from last game. And it will be Tyrande and Chromie. I wonder if those were intentional picks? Because, I mean, that timer went all the way down to 0 without anyone, either of those picks being locked in beforehand. It could be that those were who they were highlighting, and then the timer went all the way down and locked them in. But the Tyrande I get. The Chromie, I don't know that I get. There are certain maps where Chromie's really good. I'm not so sure this is one of them. She provides almost no damage whatsoever to the Immortal. But maybe they're hoping that Tyrande will help balance that out to some degree. As it stands right now, Ridgeback Lords have almost no damage to the Immortal. I mean, Tassadar does nothing, Chromie does nothing. I mean, Li Ming kind of. Artanis kind of. I don't know. We shall see. Alright, but so game number 2 here between Divine 9 and Ridgeback Lords. For Divine 9, it is Jason on Rhaegar. Ice Fox Emily on Thrall. Nya Nu on Gul'dan. Rabbit Penguin on ETC. And Emian on Vala. And for Ridgeback Lords, it is Changer on Artanis. Stixa on Chromie. Kina on Tyrande. Dami on Tassadar. And Epic on Li Ming. Very curious if those were auto picks. Yeah, I am not sure about that. No one's saying to reset or anything. So yeah, I'm thinking those were auto picks. You hate to see that happen, but the rules are the rules, I guess. But, you know, that's another reason. Pro tip, you know, at least highlight a hero so you don't get any auto picks. So Divine 9 looking to threaten in the top lane. The Owl not going to succeed in scouting anyone out. But the Psionic Storm from Tassadar is going to send all of Divine 9. Send them all scattering. And they're going to now leave Thrall to the top lane and rotate to the bottom lane. It looks like maybe a bit of miscommunication on the side of Ridgeback Lords as they sent everyone top. Not realizing it's generally good to leave someone bottom. Don't want to leave any lanes completely empty. Well, both teams have now figured things out, as it will be Tassadar and Thrall up in the top lane. Whereas in the bottom lane, it will be both teams' 4-man squads. And the Immortals are going to show up and interrupt all this nothing from happening. And we see Divine 9 making a much better jump on the Immortals. We saw them pretty much instantly be in a position for wherever they spawned, whereas a bit of a late response on the side of Ridgeback Lords, which is putting them on the defensive. And once again, the phase prism did not connect from Artanis. I feel like Divine 9, I feel like they've kind of identified that Artanis has been the major source of their problems. And it's mostly been that phase prism. They've done a much better job of dodging it. Of course, as soon as I say that, Vala gets picked off, but really, who's out of position? I mean, your Artanis is in the middle of the team, but they are going to find the kill on Gul'dan. But so far, still a rough position for Ridgeback Lords, as it's very difficult to send anyone back to attack the Immortal, as they're just so far behind. And it looks like no Q build from Vala. Looks like she is going to go with the standard, I would assume, multi-shot build. I guess we'll know. No, looks like she's going the auto attack build. Interesting. So Creed of the Hunter is going to give her a default attack speed. I think it boosts it by 10% or something. As Chromie finds her Hearthy in a dangerous position. And just drops a big meaty combo on her. But Creed of the Hunter, when you pick it, it will increase your auto attack speed. And once you have attacked 100 heroes, or a hero 100 times at full hatred, then you get a, I think, what is it, extra 2% damage per hatred stack. So it's still a good talent even if you haven't completed the quests, and it will definitely help in terms of burning down the Immortal. And unfortunately, that healing totem is just going to be absolutely deleted by Chromie. And a great power slide to dodge the phase prism. So I think Divine Eye has really done a great job at adapting to that phase prism. I feel like I could say it's safely there without jinxing them, as Artanis was nowhere near in the area. But Divine Eye looking like they want to invade that camp, but unfortunately that is two people eating a Chromie combo, and the follow-up from Tyrande is going to be one dead Rhaegar and one dead Vala. Meanwhile, not too much happening in the bottom lane. So despite those two kills, I was going to say Divine Eye is still ahead, but I think once they clear this minion wave, they'll be back to being ahead. Eh, take that back. Looks like not. Oh well. They're still pretty close at least. Would like to see Gul'dan press W on that, there you go. There you go. Camps are just doing a great job of giving Gul'dan sources of life to drain. So it looks like Divine Nine looking to grab their Bruiser camp, which I think is very good as the Immortals are about to come up. It's going to be scouted out by Tyrande's Owl, but not too much that Ridgeback Lords can do about this. Other than retreat and pick up their own. And this is a spawn that is going to be favorable for them, as they were a little bit late to getting to the Immortals, but thankfully they don't have to travel quite so far as they are on the defensive. So now that Ridgeback Lords have showed up for the defense, I think we're going to see both teams pull back and just kind of clean up the camps here real quick. See Vala on the side of Divine Nine, cleaning up that camp. Whereas so far no response to the bottom camp on the side of Ridgeback Lords. And that camp has already taken down the bottom wall, and that camp will go all the way to the keep, and if it is not cleaned up. And that is going to be one dead Artanis, so things not looking good here for Ridgeback Lords. Totem goes down to try and get the kill on Tyrande, but fortunately Vala just not quite aggressive enough to get that kill. More chunking out on the side of by Chromie. Not going to get any kills, but pretty much everyone forced to retreat. So they finally cleaned up that camp down there, but it got that entire wall, half of the fort. So that camp definitely got value. And that is why you grab camps right before the objective. But Vala looking to attack the Immortal all by her lonesome, and that is going to result in her death. I feel like she could have maybe vaulted to sidestep the prism, but I think maybe she already used it. But without Vala, that is a big chunk of damage missing from the side of Divine Nine. So Ridgeback Lords look like they are going to defend as 4. Meanwhile, Artanis is going to using his amateur opponent, just hammer away at the top Immortal. And he's just going to stand in that Psy Storm, decides, this doesn't bother me. But it looks like without Artanis, Ridgeback Lord's going to lose this race. There's only 566 HP left. And that is going to be the Immortal going over for Divine 9, but they give 2 of their members to pick it up. So, who really won that exchange? Yeah, probably Divine 9. But so far, 6 kills to 1 in favor of Ridgeback Lords. Not entirely what I expected with a couple auto-pick heroes. But meanwhile, Tessadars just dies to something. I don't even know. He just kind of exploded. That's pretty weird. So, for mysterious reasons, Tassadar is dead, which means this is now a 5-on-4. And we do see our Thrall soaking in the bottom lane, which I think is a bit of a mistake. I think usually if you can take down a keep or a keep wall, you want to push with that thing. Split soaking not going to get a lot of value here late into the game. But unfortunately, no Rhaegar means no cleanse. And it's going to be 1 dead ETC. So, I mean, so far the auto-pick Chromie not turning out to be too terrible. Got another kill off of that. And Ridgeback Lord's going to take the top camp. Tassadar scouts out the bottom camp, but not too much he can do. There's still a Tassadar to hold that thought as Gul'dan is about to be deleted. Let's see, this is what I mean about Artanis. You know, you think you're standing somewhere safe, like way back here. And he does Blade Dash, Prism, and then suddenly the place you thought was safe was very, very not safe. And so far that's at least 2 deaths on the side of Divine 9 that I've seen that have been like that. The other one being the Vala death down here. So would really like to see Divine 9 be a little bit more careful around Artanis. I feel like they've done a good job of adapting to his phase prisms, but maybe letting their guard down a little bit. Maybe need a little bit more practice against it. But despite all these kills, only a slight lead here for Ridgeback Lords, who are going to pick up their Bruiser camp. Apparently they have to tap as well, as this camp is just kicking their ass. That is going to be the Bruiser camp for Divine 9 picked up as well. So no advantage here for either team in terms of the camp pickups. But so far Divine 9 has been very late to getting to the Immortal, and already theirs is down to half health. So they're absolutely going to have to defend here. Well, level 13 has been reached for Divine 9. Well, in comes the Earthquake from Thrall. The Rook comes down onto Artanis, but everyone just gets absolutely obliterated on the side of Divine 9. Meanwhile, Artanis still very, very healthy. That is going to be dead ETC. I think Gul'dan going to go down as well. Yeah, the temporal loop by Chromie is what. Had he dodged a couple more of those things, I mean, he was gonna die to that. Absolutely no escaping that, so gigantic teamfight victory there for Ridgeback Lords, and they now have a nearly 100% Immortal that they're going to be able to push with. But once again, they did not respond to this camp, and it's nearly taken down the entire bottom keep wall.
Heaven shall lie in ruins beneath my feet.
And that is absolutely what is keeping Divine 9 in this game. Sure, they're down 13-2 in terms of kills, but they've taken down way more structures than Ridgeback Lords, although that may all be about to change. As this Immortal still has full health. The shields have just gone down. But another big phase swap goes down onto Thrall. And unfortunately, Cleanse was just used, so... But the Ancestral manages to save ETC. So... A bit of a misplay there from Divine 9, but... Made up for it with that great Ancestral healing. But in comes the Power Slide by ETC. Catches 2, but... Fortunately for him, no one on his team was around to really capitalize on it. But Divine Knight, they managed to get out of there. They save the keep. But really in a rough spot as they are a long way away from level 16, which has just been picked up for Ridgeback Lords. So likely when it comes time for the next Immortal phase, I would expect for Ridgeback Lords to have a pretty substantial advantage. So, not too much going on here. But Divine Knight, they really need someone in the bottom lane to soak this wave of XP. Just so they can get to level 16 and be on the same talent tier for the next Immortal phase. Which is a mere 26 seconds away, so they've really gotta pick up the pace. Well, unfortunately for them, and this is part of the drawback of two-lane maps. So a big phase swap goes down onto Gul'dan, who's going to get the Ancestral healing and be kept alive, but unfortunately ETC is going to go down. And Gul'dan goes down after all, and the shield from Tassadar comes in just in time to save Li Ming. Gul'dan did put out a ton of damage there with his corruption, but the power of double support really paying off there. So, unfortunately for Divine Knight, they were not able to find level 16 just in time. And this Immortal... This is likely going to be a nearly 100% Immortal on the side of Ridgeback Lords. Which will be marching in the top lane, which is pretty healthy for Divine 9. I don't think this is going to be a potential game-ending Immortal. But ETC sticking his head in there. Doesn't quite have his team with him yet. But they do. They do cause Ridgeback Lords to retreat. But the poke from Li Ming is going to be enough to secure the Immortal. Would have liked to see someone on the side of Divine 9 at least come down here and hammer on the Immortal. Just so they can reduce the shields a little bit, but a little bit of a bush party situation going on here. Which is a difficult thing to pull off, just because there's so many vision tools on the side of Ridgeback Lords. Who, by the way, are choosing not to push with this Immortal. They're actually just going to take the bottom keep. Which, honestly, I think is a bit of a puzzling decision. I think that's a big mistake. I think they probably could have finished off that keep anytime they wanted to. But I think if they had pushed with that Immortal, they could have definitely gotten the top keep. And if they got a pick there, a pick or two, and like they could have easily won the game. But instead, I think they just kind of let their Immortal that they worked kind of hard for just be sent to its death, which I think is a shame. But Divine Knight, they're picking up the bottom cab, which is going to be scouted out by Tyrande. Meanwhile, they are going to come over here and pick up their bruiser camp, which I actually think is a little bit early. Maybe they'll just choose not to cap it. And yeah, it looks like that will be the case. It's definitely a gutsy move, but I think they can pull that off. They have a pretty sizable lead, so I don't think they have to worry about any kind of invasion outside of Divine 9. So finally the camp is capped. Divine 9 may be looking for a fight here, as level 20 not yet reached by the side of Ridgeback Lords, and that is, I think that is exactly what is going on. Ridgeback Lords pulling back, deciding they don't want to fight until they hit level 20. So they're only about a half level away. You know, we did see Divine 9 basically walking forward up until they pretty much got to the enemy keep. And they decided, alright, let's not be crazy here, let's pull back. Well, meanwhile, Lone Artanis out here attacking the Immortal, but meanwhile, in the back line, down goes the Earthquake by Thrall. Unfortunately, ETC and Thrall are going to go down, as Artanis proving to be a little bit too tanky to take down. That is going to be Gul'dan going down as well. And I think we're on our way to a game number 3. As with 3 down, take that back, 4 down, as I believe Chromie was able to 2-on-1 get that last kill on a Rhaegar. But this is going to be a 100% Immortal in the top lane. This time I don't think Ridgeback Lords is going to leave it to its death. I think they're going to push with it this time. And likely end the game. I feel like they probably could have done that when they had 3 or 4 dead on the side of Divine 9, but this works too. But now there's a danger that they actually die during pushing, which is, I would say, a long shot, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. But this is certainly not good here for Divine 9. So that is going to be a dead Vala as the Temporal Loop combo going to delete her. Looks like Rhaegar will be the next to go down. Totem not going to save him. And you know what? That is going to be GG. We are going to go to a 3rd game. Not much more to say here. It's like, maybe Tassadar? No. Thought he might go down, but no. He did not. So, I don't know if that was an auto-pick Chromie or auto-pick Tyrande, but they made it work regardless. And Divine 9, I mean, they got off to an early start. And usually that's really, really good on a 2-lane map. Usually it's very difficult to come back from that. But kudos to Ridgeback Lords. They managed to pull it all the way back and force a game number 3. And this time they will be picking the map. So I have to find out what map it'll be for game number 3. And, you know, I thought the Tyrande pick made sense there. I think it would have made sense the game before as well. But not going to lie, when I saw Kina TV there for a second in the chat, I thought that was Kenma TV. But I think we've established already there's no Kenma in this game. No Team Naventic members whatsoever. Okay, so the Chromie pick was an auto pick. Okay. I figured if anything, the Chromie pick was an auto pick, just because that made zero sense, really. The Toronto pick I thought was a good pick. I thought it was very defensible. Very solid pick. I wonder if the person playing Chromie was all that experienced too, because I know they took the sight talent at level 1 when you already have Tassadar in Toronto. Like, do you need more sight? I mean, I don't know. Don't think so. But it was a Master Skin Chromie, so I'll defer to the Chromie player. So just waiting on Ridgeback Lords here to pick the third map. Third and final map. But hey, so far it's turned out to be a good series. I mean, to be honest, I thought that was over after the auto pick. I thought that was over after saw Chromie come out on Battlefield of Eternity, but could have surged back Lords. I mean, hey, they made it work. Anyway, I think that goes to show a powerful lesson. You know, these games are not played on paper. They're played by people. You know, something that seems like it should work. I mean, if the players don't execute, then it's probably not going to work. You know, I think players with superior play could definitely overcome any kind of matchup issue that they're presented with. I should put some art above my bed. Yeah, I absolutely should. You know, it's funny. I've lived here for a while, and I still have, like, paintings and pictures and stuff, like, framed art, just kind of, like, sitting around without it being hung up at all. Just because it's, like, I assume I'm going to move at some point, and then I never do, so I don't know. It's kind of weird. Oh, it's for the ability damage. Okay. All right, I can see that. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense because, I mean, the value we're going to get out of the vision just is pretty much nil. I mean, team is already just oozing vision everywhere, so. Okay, so it looks like the third and final game will be on Cursed Hollow. Or if you're the Raven Lord, Cursed Hollow. It's crazy. No one says it cursed. What is this, the 1800s? Craziness. But I do believe the draft is about to get underway. Actually, you know what I really need? I need a green screen, like all the fancy casters have, like everyone on Town Hall Heroes has. I should do that and then wear a green shirt so there's like stars and other fanciness in my shirt. Or like Heroes of the Storm artwork. Not going to do that just yet. All right, here we go. Draft is now underway for game number 3. On Cursed Hollow. So this time it will be Divine 9 with the first pick, first ban, as this was the map selection for Ridgeback Lords. And if I were Divine 9, I would be sick and tired of Artanis, or maybe even Tassadar. I'd be looking to get rid of one of those two. Well, we'll see what they decide to go with. And it looks like we'll be Tassadar banned out. By the way, going real quick to the last game, you know, yeah, I was talking about the talent, how I thought the level 1 talent was a bit questionable because it was the sight talent, but I did say that person did have a master Chromie skin, so I deferred to them, and as it turned out, there is a 5% additional ability damage on that talent, so it's kind of a secondary purpose for it, so I was right to defer to the master Chromie, so that all worked out. But Ragnaros is going to be banned out for Ridgeback Lords. Which, by the way, means that if Divine 9 does not pick up Artanis, he will once again, for the third and final game, go over to Ridgeback Lords. So we'll be Dahaka. This is a very, very strong map for Dahaka, as he can split push like a maniac and then show up to the objective whenever he needs to. Or show up to a team fight whenever he needs to. But he's very, very good at dealing with the curse as well. As thanks to his Brush Stalker, he can travel between two lanes very, very quickly. And as predicted, Artanis picked up on the side of Ridgeback Lords, but also ETC, who's been on the side of Divine 9 for the first two games, so bit of a switcheroo there for the Elite Tauren Chieftain. So, two more picks here for Divine 9. So, what pairs well with Artanis? What pairs well with ETC? You could pick up one of those synergies now to deny them, or you could wait till the ban phase. But I think, especially from some of the intelligence I've seen in the chat, I think you're probably going to want to ban out Falstad in the ban phase, which will not only deny them from a global, but you also have one, so you're kind of choking your opponent out of them. But they are going to go with Tychus and Malfurion. I really like the Tychus pickup, as that is double warrior already on the side of Ridgeback Lords. So he's already pretty much guaranteed to get a lot of value. Of course, as soon as Artanis' Suppression Pulse comes out, that value is going to be pretty much zero for a little bit. So if I were Ridgeback Lords, who would I be banning out here? Probably another warrior. As I think Divine 9 would probably pick up a second one, considering that they have Tychus, so they don't have to worry about someone like Diablo. So if they would pick up someone like Diablo, they wouldn't have to worry about Tychus countering them. But Ridgeback Lords wisely sniffs that up, bans Diablo, and I think if you're Divine 9, I think you ban out a support here, or sorry, a global here, and I think that should be Falstad. I think you make an argument for Brightwing as well. But they're highlighting Li Ming. Will they lock it in, is the question. And it will be Li Ming. So looking to limit the amount of damage, specifically poke and burst damage, that Ridgeback Lords can provide. Alright, so 2 more picks here for Ridgeback Lords. Would like to see them pick up a global. Maybe a Brightwing, maybe a Falstad. But this is just such a large map, and the way the objective works, having globals is just very, very strong on this map. So we'll be Falstad. Let's see if he is as good as advertised. Then it will be Brightwing. So far, this is looking very much like the first game for Ridgeback Lords, where the damage is a little bit weak. As this is very close to the comp they had in the first game. They didn't have ETC, but they did have Murden instead, along with Tassadar. And I'd say in the long run, it did not work out for them. So, would like to see someone very, very damaging in that last spot. Not sure who they could go with. Maybe Vala, maybe? Not sure there's enough support around Vala, though. They'll figure it out. But 2 more picks here for Divine 9. Will be Kael'thas. So far, they do have quite a monopoly on the burst. And it will be Johanna. Hey, I was thinking, was Dami on Falstad the first game? No, Dami's always been on Tassadar, so. But last pick here. Well, Ridgeback Lords, they already have double frontline, so definitely don't need any kind of melee. I just think they really need just like a really heavy damage assassin. Fortunately, Kael'thas, Jaina, or kind of what's what I was about to say, but Li Ming banned out. But they could go with Jaina. I mean, she would fit the bill, I think. You know, Jaina is a great follow-up to ETC Power Slide. She's a great follow-up to Artanis Phase Prism. But it will be Gul'dan. I don't know. I think I would have liked Jaina better. Gul'dan and Brightwing, I don't think is great. I mean, she heals him up so slowly that it's hard for him to have enough life to tap from. I mean, Brightwing puts out a lot of healing numbers in general, but they're kind of to everyone. They're not really to a specific person. Well, we'll have to see how it all works out. But here we go, the final game between Divine 9 and Ridgeback Lords. On the side of Divine 9, it is Emian on Kael'thas, Rabid Penguin on Johanna, Jason on Malfurion, Nyanut on Tychus, and Ice Fox Emily on Dahaka. And for the side of Ridgeback Lords, it is Kina on Brightwing, Changer on Artanis, Dami on Falstad, Epic on ETC, and Stixa on Gul'dan. So it does end up being Dami on Falstad, so we'll have to see how this all works out. Should be interesting.
Prepare yourself for battle.
I'm still here, I swear. This game starts to run pretty bad after a while. So once again, I mean, seasoned marksman from both Artanis and Falstad, so really looking for that late game auto attack damage. Not surprisingly, Echoed Corruption from Gul'dan.
3, 2, 1.
And it will be Shando's Clarity for Malfurion. It looks like Divine Nine looking for a cheeky little flank here. No, looks like they're going to actually go into the bottom lane. Maybe try and cheese a tower. And they did this in the first game too. They cheesed a tower without Sylvanas. And it was the bottom tower as well. Would like to maybe see them mix that up a little bit. Kina calling them out on the cheese. But looks like Johanna actually does have Iron Skin, but no, he's still going to go down after all. And that is going to be Dahaka burrowing up to the top lane. So even though they lost a member, they did get the cannon tower, and they're going to, I was gonna say, maybe get a little bit ahead on Soak, but thanks to the Falstad, he does have a global as well. Was able to get up to this lane and get a majority of the Soak from it. So not too much of an advantage gained there by Divine Nine. So looking like actually Ridgeback Lords wants to answer back and trying the rare mid game tower cheese instead of at the very beginning. It looks like they nearly got that back, but a face prison goes down onto Kael'thas, who's going to get the heal from Malfurion just in time. But Kael'thas, oh, you hate to see that kind of thing happen. I thought he was a little healthier than he did. Walks back out into the lane and eats a point blank arcane flare. Not point blank, but right in the center where it does max damage.
Heroes, gather tribute.
So, slight XP lead here for Ridgeback Lords, but nothing in terms of a level or talent tier advantage. So, certainly nothing that Divine Nine needs to shy away from in terms of contesting this tribute. But a lot of damage going down onto Malfurion, who is going to heal himself up and also delay channeling the tribute. Malfurion with a Loon's Grace at level 4, one of the most annoying things to deal with on this map, as he can deny turn-ins from so far away. Him and Chromie very, very good at doing that. So far, a slight lead here for Divine Nine as a swap goes down onto Tychus, and that is going to kill him off. No counter kill for Divine Nine. So it looks like this will be the first tribute going over to Ridgeback Lords. And I think they probably had a level lead there, which may have been why they were able to just barely eke out that kill on Tychus, and why Artanis was just barely able to live. People do tend to ignore the level disparity between two teams in a fight, but it definitely matters. You know, sometimes it's a game of inches, and fortunately, a lot of damage going down under Gul'dan. Nearly a 2v3 one here for Divine Nine, but fortunately not going to get the kill on Gul'dan. Next tribute coming up, level 7 about to be reached for Ridgeback Lords. Definitely a more substantial level disparity as they're now had a talent tier. But hey, that doesn't mean you can't sit in the bush and gank someone. And unfortunately, the drag goes down onto him, but not going to get the kill on Artanis, who is so very tanky. And Malfurion walking all the way up there, trying to delay that, but Ooh, I don't know about that. Fortunately, Malfurion going to pay for that interrupt with his life. Going to go out on a limb and say, not a good trade. That is my fresh hot sports take for this game. Artanis coming down into the bottom lane where Dahaka is going to Hearth and then probably go somewhere else. Might actually just want to, yeah, I might want to actually save his Z for later and just kind of slowly waddle out into a lane. But so far, a pretty substantial lead here for Ridgeback Lords. They're up almost the full level. The bad is for them, they're still pretty far away from level 10. So probably not going to have that dominant level 10 talent tier advantage come the next tribute, but I think it's still enough of an advantage that they should be able to win the next tribute. Despite it being on the side of Divine 9. Kind of surprised Falstad isn't staying to soak a little bit, just because his team is about half a level away from level 10. If his team could just stall for just a little bit longer, he would be able to get them to 10. Big two-man flame strike there by Kael'thas. But he didn't take the extra damage on the flame strike, so it's not going to... No bonus damage there for him. But that's going to be one dead Malfurion who is awfully far forward. But may get the counter kill on the ETZ. No, he is going to barely live with just a sliver of life. I'm not sure that it's going to be the same for Johanna, who is going to be finished off by Dami on Falstad. The hammer ain't going to be enough. Meanwhile, ETC managed to limp away. Oh, did he take stage dive? Okay. Sorry, I'm lagging a little bit here. Alright, there we go. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I guess ETC actually, he actually stage dive into a lane just to try and push it out a little bit. But so far, this is a very, very bad position for Divine 9. As level 10 was reached for Ridgeback Lords, along with level 10. And they're just absolutely putting on a clinic here. As they are now threatening the middle keep, which they're now going to back off. But Artanis had a bit of trouble, but gets a great gust from Falstad. Along with a great cleanse from Kina. Which is going to keep Artanis alive. But, of course, as soon as I say that, Artanis goes down, and ETC in some trouble as well. But looks like they're not going to get the kill on him. Oh, does Doc have Brush Stalker? No, I guess not. Thought maybe he could Brush Stalker into one of these bushes, grab ETC, finish him off. Well, that is the first kill of the game for Divine 9. So usually one of the consolation prizes, I guess, if you want to say, for losing a curse is that usually you're still only 1 or 2 tributes away from getting a curse of your own. Because usually you don't lose the tributes 3-0, but unfortunately for Divine 9, that is not the case, as they were unable to secure any of the first 3 tributes, which means both teams are now equally far away from the curse. Divine 9 is not any closer than Ridgeback Lords, but they're certainly going to pick up their boss faster. And they started theirs a lot sooner. Okay, I thought they might be able to make a play on this one, but Ridgeback Lords farther along than I thought. And Dahaka not able to scare them away from it. So if I'm Divine 9, I'm doing everything I can to soak to 13. In fact, I'd probably just give you this tribute up at this point. It's on the side of Ridgeback Lords, which means it's going to be that much more difficult to contest. Be a very difficult tribute to pick up thanks to not being the same talent tier, thanks to worse position, but luckily for them, Ridgeback Lords is just giving it up. They're choosing to just push the bottom four, which I think is a little bit questionable. They do have 2 globals on their side. Like, Falstad could easily fly up there. Brightwing can phase shift in. But Big Gus comes down from Falstad. Looking for the pickoff here on Divine 9, but don't think they're going to get it, as Falstad is in a bunch of trouble. Manages the barrel or out of danger. And meanwhile, that drill from Tyke is still there. Still doing a little bit more damage before ultimately being taken down. So, finally level 13 has been picked up for Divine 9. And going back to the first game, this is where things did start to turn around a little bit for them. As Tychus did get That's the Stuff. But, that was definitely not the stuff for him, as he got absolutely ganked like crazy. There was no surviving that. And I was thinking that was going to be the second tribute going over to Ridgeback Lords, but actually gave up the last one, so this will be their first. Meanwhile, Johanna going to go into the middle lane, try and get some soak. Gotta be real careful as there is a rotation coming down on her. In comes Gul'dan, in comes Falstad, in comes Brightwing, but good on Johanna getting out of there in time. I feel like Ridgeback Lords could have flanked a little more aggressively if they had come down through here, then she wouldn't have had as many options to get away. Maybe leaving one on the table a little bit there. But the good news for Ridgeback Lords, they are about to hit level 16. Meanwhile, Divine 9 still a long way from it.
Gather tribute.
Which means they're probably going to have to give up at least one more tribute. Which is not a great position to be in. They could make a play on this. Gul'dan is not here yet. But Divine 9 making an aggressive, trying to chase down Brightwing, but it's just not going to happen. And unfortunately, great play there by Falstad is going to delay the channel of the tribute, but Gul'dan is going to go down as the Hako was able to pick him off. And despite being down the level 16 talent tier, and that great interrupt by Falstad, Divine 9 manages to get a kill and that tribute. And now they're only one tribute away from getting a curse of their own. Not only that, but they're pretty close to level 16. If they're able to take down this fort, that'll get them a little bit closer. And there we go. With that cannon tower, level 16 has been reached by Divine 9. So now both teams are on even footing, which is not something they've been on for quite a while. It's like Titan Grenade was picked up for Tychus, which is going to help him burst down those tanks just a little bit more easily. As that is going to cause his grenade to do percent-based damage. Very good on high HP targets. And here we go. This is curse point for Divine 9, who are very patiently waiting in the bushes, but Big Drag goes down onto Gul'dan, who's going to get the cleanse. Oh, then an interrupt, I believe, from ETC, but Twilight Dream goes down, hits 2. But unfortunately, Malfurion was ice blocked way far forward. And the Gust from Falstad ended up isolating him, but that is going to be Artanis going down. ETC going to be next to follow. Unfortunately, he tries to stage dive to safety. I have no idea how ETC is still alive. That should have been. That was like an NA stage dive right there. I mean, he's trying to get to safety, but ends up going nowhere. But somehow ETC ends up surviving there. But the Haka going to Hearthback and is going to come right back with full health. But Tychus has to interrupt that. But oh no. Fortunately, not going to get the interrupt there. So that'll be the second tribute going over to Ridgeback Lords. And suddenly, this is a very, very tense game. Both teams with 2 tributes. Both teams even in terms of XP and levels. And talent tiers. So, we're in a situation where the game could come down to whoever gets the next tribute. Whoever wins the next team fight, which... Ooh, scary position for Falstad to be in. But in comes the ETC. Manages to sniff out that someone's in the bushes there. Gus has been used. So far, that is 2 ults down on the side of Ridgeback Lords. Whereas I believe only Blessed Shield went down on the side of Divine 9. So tribute coming up, but Drill is going to be up. Everything going to be up for Divine 9, except for Blessed Shield. But in comes Dahaka, who already uses Burrow. But that is going to be 2 deaths on the side of Divine 9. That is ETC and Artanis going down. So just the front line is just absolutely shredded. I think a lot of that was thanks to the Twilight Dream from Alfurion, but Ball's going to be picked up here for Divine 9. I don't think I like this call. Now, the good news for them is only going to take about 10 seconds to burn this down. But Falstad tried to make a play, but great job by Rabbit Penguin. Sniffed it out. You popped Iron Skin, and they managed to pick off the other 3. I think this is going to be game. Wow. So, I mean, this is going to be 3 dead on the side of Ridgeback Lords for another 30 seconds. Meanwhile, they're cursed. Meanwhile, Boss is going to be pushing in the top lane. Middle keep is going down. It's going to come down to, oh god, 15 seconds. I think Divine 9 can do it. I think they can do it. I mean, they only need another 8 seconds where it's 5-on-2. If they're able to get another kill here, which ETC is rooted. He is going to get out of there. But Artanis in a lot of trouble. But Kael'thas has gone down. No, they're not going to be able to do it. That's going to be Dahaka most likely going down. I think maybe he has adaptation, but they took down Brightwing. And Artanis about to go down as well. But the Horrify comes down from Gul'dan, which may result in Dahaka's death. Down he goes, but so far everyone awfully low on the side of Ridgeback Lords, but Tychus going to go down. Even though everyone is low on the side of Ridgeback Lords, they do have the core on their side. But the boss finished off the top keep, so now Divine 9, now they have the boss on their side. Falstad is super, super low. And that's going to be game. Divine 9 is going to take it. Wow. Well, can I just say I'm glad that series went 3 games. I'm glad those guys decided to make that a best of 3 instead of a best of 1. Because that really came down to the wire there in a very entertaining, very thrilling series. Man, I mean, that game reminded me so much of the first game. Basically, Tychus past 13 just became an absolute beast. Not only did he get That's the Stuff, which really helped him stay alive, but by then he had also stacked his minigun, thanks to In the Rhythm. So basically, he was able to put out a ton of damage on the front line of Ridgeback Lords. And it really saw it at that last fight, or on the last tribute. I mean, both the tanks just absolutely exploded on the side of Ridgeback Lords. That ultimately snowballed them, Divine 9, to basically snowball their way to victory. They're able to take boss. They're able to just really sustain so well at the end there. But yeah, just really well played there by Divine Nine. Geez. Just a late game. It doesn't even really strike me as them having like a really late game team, but I don't know. Maybe Tychus is a late game beast. I don't know. He was really showing that in games 1 and 3. I don't know. But whatever it is about them, they managed to get it together late, win some really crucial fights, and knew when to go core, knew when they could end, and made it happen. So congratulations to Divine Nine on their hard-fought victory. I didn't think they could do it, honestly. I thought that was looking really, really good for Ridgeback Lords there in Game 3, but it was kind of the same story in Game 1. Ridgeback Lords were off to the early lead, and then eventually around level 13, Divine Nine just hit a switch and just really turned it on and rode that wave of momentum all the way to victory. So that is going to be Ridgeback Lords, Divine Nine taking that. It'll be 1-0 in Chair League, but it's 2-1 in our hearts. So mark them as the winner. Wait for the Chair League site to refresh. Okay, cool. So that I've been credited with the hard-earned victory. So anyway, I thank you guys for watching. It was a pleasure to cast for you all. And let me see if there's anyone else casting. Chair will get this a moment. If so, I will give them a host. It is kind of late. I would not be surprised if that was the last game of the evening. Yeah, it looks like no more matches going on. So that is going to be me for tonight. I thank you all for watching. I'll be casting more tomorrow, I believe. Pretty sure. Hope you all come by and watch that. Hope it's half as fun as this one was. Until then, thanks for watching. Have a good night.